My name is Colleen Neistat, and I'm the founder and CEO of MovieSet. MovieSet, easily put, is like taking those behind-the-scenes extras that you get on your DVD and putting them in real time on the web. My background is in the film production business. I spent 20 years in the trenches working my way up the ladder. And through the 90s, my company was very prolific, producing many movies and feature films and television movies for the studios and networks. And when I came out the other end after having sold my company to a public company in 2000, I started to think more about how the industry was moving online. And I noted very early on that there were a lot of obstacles to trying to bring the behind-the-scenes stuff online, which is really what's been most interesting historically to the audience. There were a couple of early examples that I noted. The Mexican, where they had a bagel cam with a webcam live streaming from the craft service table, which generated hundreds of thousands of hits, followed up by successful things like Peter Jackson's King Kong, where they put up daily video blogs, and the audience comes back on a daily basis. Now, this all sounds great and everybody loves that stuff, but when you're making a movie, it's really hard to get that behind-the-scenes content because you're busy getting it in the can on time and on budget. And so whilst we know that we have a market that's obsessive about celebrity culture and loves this kind of behind-the-scenes stuff, getting it accessible to people is problematic because despite the fact that we have social networking and a whole raft of different ways for people to connect and engage with content, there is a firewall. And that firewall is the practice of making movies and the way that it's organized. So the secret sauce to me was finding a way that you could integrate into the production process in order to access that content without interfering with production. Because the biggest pushback you get from people like me as line producers is anything that interferes with my ability to get it in the can on time and on budget is going to be resisted. So with MovieSet, we've created a toolkit that makes it easy to seamlessly interface with production and make that content available, not only on a one-way basis, but bi-directionally with the fans. So one way of looking at it is the IMDb, many of you will be familiar with, generates something in the order of 47 million page views per month, coupled with YouTube with dynamic video content. And I've used the example here of Movie Magic in terms of production software. Those things combined together are really what MovieSet is about, but as an aggregator that generates revenue from advertising and a variety of e-commerce applications. Here, for example, is a crew view of a picture called Numb, where the crew will log in and they will see their daily call sheet, they'll see what you're shooting, you'll be able to look at any information, advanced schedule, where you're having lunch, all of that content. But the content that's generated in the workflow and content management system filters over in an abbreviated form to the fan view. So if I could cursor down here, what I can't, you'd see an abbreviated version of that call sheet that you just saw, which shows what scenes are being shot and who's in them, etc. And it gives the fans that kind of stickiness where they come back every day and they want their extra bit of a hit. It works on the premise that every movie has a core audience, and the internet is the most strategic way to go out and target and engage that audience. And MovieSet is very much designed to filter into that next generation of thinking. The advertising revenue, which is the driver of this as an aggregator, is tailored again to the kind of granular demographic information that we're able to generate as part of the overall marketing strategy. So in this case, we've got a movie that's about a guy with a dissociative disorder, so we've got a Pfizer ad up there. In this case, you're able to save any content, comment on any content as a member of the fan base, and then save it to your own page, which looks suspiciously like a Facebook page at this point. But the notion is that you can form groups around individual films, around groupings or genres of films, and you can facilitate the kind of bi-directional communication that will be useful when you do the equivalent of crossing the chasm to your broad marketing when you're ready to release the picture. Again, this is really designed to build core audience. It's about advancing the marketing of motion pictures to the beginning of the production process, even as early as packaging, let alone green light, so that you're able to really identify who your core audience is, build them so that they tell two friends, and so on and so on.